Does it help that you're playing such a high-profile team in Stanford in the school's first ever BCS games? That kind of help transition them from the disappointment to looking forward to this game?
Yes. We didn't really allow them to talk about it much after the first day. We understood they would be disappointed. We would have been disappointed if it wasn't that way.
Yeah.
But you're playing what is probably the best opponent we've played this season. They got maybe the first player that's going to be picked in the draft. They got tight ends, and everybody knows about Stanford. They're a good football team, very well coached. So that helps get our players back into the right frame of mind. I think there's a lot of excitement about our bowl game. I think if somebody was to take a poll across the country, there'd be a lot of excitement about this game compared to any other bowl in the country.
Mike, you notice the difference between the atmosphere and the intensity of a BCS Bowl, your first BCS Bowl?
Well, there's no question our players are really focused. Our guys have been good during bowl practice for a number of years, but I think there's just a little bit more here. And maybe it's the opponent. I mean, they watch Stanford on tape, and I think they're excited about the challenge of going up against a team that's won 22 games already in 2 years. So our players have stayed focused and practiced very well.
As a coach, you know there are teams that they get disappointed by the game they're not in, and that shows they play flat in the bowl game. Did you talk to players about that? Is there anything, warning signs you're looking for in practices?
Well, we talk to them about everything, and we don't try to beat around the bush when it comes to anything about our football team. And that's one of the issues that I mentioned, that bowl games are about teams that want to be there and that are excited to play, and they should. They should be excited no matter what bowl you're in, but to be in the Fiesta Bowl and to play Stanford has really helped a lot.
You mentioned that guys basically are off at 4 o'clock and can kind of have some fun and enjoy it. How do you balance obviously preparing for such an important game, but also allowing them to enjoy being here and enjoy the experience, just kind of overall?
Well, we've always been that way. We feel like there's a time for our players to work. There's a time they need to stay focused, and then there's a time for them to enjoy each other. If they can't have fun and enjoy being around each other, then it's really not all worth it. Football is a game that they play that takes a lot of hard work and effort, but they need to have fun. So they start in the morning at 10 o'clock, and by now, 3 o'clock, they're done for the day. And they have a curfew to get in at night. We start again the next day, and they have a responsibility to take care of themselves during the free time. And it's worked well for us over the last however many years we've been in a bowl now in a row. So we wouldn't want it to change any this year, just being in a BCS Bowl.
What do you hope to accomplish, Mike, in these final practices? I guess the game plan was already in before you left Stillwater?
Well, the game plan's been in for a while, but we're really on what would be a Sunday practice today. Tomorrow would be a Monday in a normal game week. So we have a lot of work ahead. Our conditioning's good. Coach Glass has run the players some, and so we feel like if we stay the course that we'll be in really good condition going into the game, and our legs will be fresh.
Mike, you played at Oklahoma State. Your AD was a golf coach there for 3 decades or so. How important is it to have people really familiar with the university in terms of the growth of an athletic department, Oklahoma State people, so to speak?
Well, Oklahoma State is a different place, and I've always felt like that knowing the history and understanding Oklahoma State, the people that are there, kind of the core values, not only for the academic side of it, but athletically and our recruiting is very important. I think you have to understand where to recruit, how to recruit, what kind of players we're looking for, what kind of people we're looking for. And it's not the same as being at other schools. And I've said this, that after I looked back when I was a head coach for 3 or 4 years, I'm not sure if I would have ever hired myself, but after I had done it a while and I started to learn a little bit, I felt like that I had a really good feel for what it takes to win the whole thing at Oklahoma State. I don't know if I could do that at Notre Dame or USC or somewhere like that, but I certainly have a good feel for what to do at Oklahoma State.
But you've heard the term Michigan man, and all the a lot of universities feel we need people who understand the culture of this university, the people around. Is that important, do you think, for university athletic departments as a whole?
Well, I can only speak for the ones I've been at.
Right.
And I wasn't at the other ones long enough to really speak, but
Right.
I can at Oklahoma State. I think it's important that whoever's coaching Oklahoma State understands the territory and the people and what they're looking for, and understands the players to recruit that we can bring into our environment, and they can stay and have success and enjoy living there.
Mike, how important are these extra practice times for your young players, especially looking ahead to the quarterback situation next year with Shelf and Walsh?
Well, we told our players when we started our bowl practice that the guys that are redshirting and the young players that that didn't get on the field as much, it's really spring ball for them. I mean, they're going to get 12 practice opportunities, then we get another 15 in the spring. So it's really a spring football for them. In meetings, they need to stay focused. They need to pay attention to what's going on. They get a few more reps in practice.
Can you talk about practicing here at Scottsdale Community College and the facilities and how nice it is for you?
Well, it's really nice. I mean, I don't play a lot of golf, but I used to play, and I've played on a lot worse golf courses than these practice facilities. I mean, I don't know that it gets any better than this. We've got 3 fields. They're grass fields. They're perfect. We have stadium. We have music, great locker room facilities, and I can't imagine there's a better practice facility for a bowl game than right here.
What does Levy Adcock mean to this team?
Gina, hang on just one second. Anybody needs Whedon and Blackman, we got him right here. I don't know how long we're going to be able to hold him. Gina, you're welcome to keep going.
Okay.
Anybody else want to?
Sorry, Coach.
Yeah, good luck to y'all. I feel the same way. I'd like to have him back myself. Levy's been really good for us. He's given us a lot of reps. We try to put him on what would be their best player. Now, defensively, they move around and they switch on us. But he's given us a great lift. He's become a really good pass protector, and he's gotten more physical in the run blocking.
You sometimes seem to give him a little bit of a hard time. And it seems like he's kind of, a character. He's got the long hair and
Right.
what is he like personality-wise, I guess you could
Well,
say.
he's really easygoing, and he's kind of a typical Oklahoma guy. And I give him a hard time because he's really intelligent, and he's got a very dry sense of humor. And he's kind of a veteran guy. I think he's like 23 years old, so it's almost like a professional relationship. If I never have coached in the NFL, but if so, it's probably some of the style of the relationship you'd have with an NFL player.
Right.
And so we get along. I give him a hard time, and he always complains about running and things like that. But that's the type of player and the type of relationship you have on good football teams.
When he came over as JC guy, did you expect him to develop into an All-American caliber guy, or
Well-
just how has he kind of grown into this type
Well,
of
we
player?
knew it'd take him a year to get going, which it did, and he really had a great year last year from a learning and experience standpoint. And then this year he's just kind of polished the skills. He's got the body type, he's 6'5", 330, so he's got everything. He just had to get into it mentally.